Are you not getting your child support? On today's episode of the Lady Lawyer League podcast, we will talk about how child support is calculated, who pays child support and who gets it, and what to do if you aren't getting your child support. And how much does Nick Cannon actually pay for child support?
This is the Lady Lawyer League podcast, Omaha's leading lady lawyers, empowering women to be legal savvy. Hosted by Susan Ruff and Tracy Hightower-Henney of Hightower Ruff Law.
Welcome to the Lady Lawyer League podcast. We're back again, and we're talking about child support this time.
The nuts and bolts.
Yes.
How to deal with child support.
Yeah. So child support's this really interesting thing that has a lot of math and algorithms, and we don't math very well, so we're going to do our best.
I also feel like when you're talking about numbers, it's easy to write them down, but to just talk and get a concept across is hard.
So we might have to write while we're talking on the podcast.
Or make hand gestures. Yeah.
Well, we're not actually going to do any child support calculators here on the show.
Thank God.
So maybe we don't have to say a single number. If you have to say a number, you drink. Which, by the way, this is the first podcast. Oh, I was so scared. This is the first pod. Yours is a prop. Mine is not.
Mine is empty.
Oh, obviously, you just poured it out like a Dairy Queen Blizzard.
Yeah. Have you ever gotten a free one?
No. How do you get a free one?
If they don't tip it over and before they hand it to you, you're supposed to get it for free.
Oh, I thought you were going to say if it falls out, then it's free. What happens if it falls out?
Well, and the other thing is, I just thought of this. You've already paid for it. Maybe you get a coupon for a free one next time.
Yeah, they want you to come back. Do you always get the same flavor? You always put gummy bears and shit on top of yours?
No, not in my Blizzards.
Oh.
Blizzards, I tend to go for Snickers, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, Heath.
No Nerds?
No, I don't like fruity Blizzards.
But you put fruit on all of the fruity, sugary stuff on everything else.
At the do-it-yourself ice cream places, yes, ice cream? I do. Okay. I do. But on the Blizzards, I go in a different direction.
When it's the ice cream topping buffets?
Yeah. Have you been to one lately?
With you?
With anyone?
No.
They don't let you scoop your own stuff anymore.
But, man, it was on when you were there. You were like, whoosh, gummy bears, whoosh, Nerds, all of it.
I had a Rice Krispie treat with Nerds in it. Oh, my God.
Life-changing?
Life-changing. I mean...
You wouldn't... See, I like Rice Krispie treats with peanut butter, not the butterscotch shit on the top. That's too... I want the peanut butter inside. And I, mixed in with the marshmallows.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
And then, I could eat a whole pan of those. But you wouldn't do that with the Nerds.
Well, clearly someone made a whole pan and then cut them up. And I had one.
No, you wouldn't eat Nerds with peanut butter in the Rice Krispie.
Right. Okay, yeah, that's a cross of sweet treats that I would never do.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not that. No.
So now we know you have a prop cup.
I do have a prop cup.
There's nothing in it.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll take a drink if we say a number.
Okay.
All right. That's our rule.
No,
it's not
numbers.
Alcoholic, so we're not getting drunk today.
No numbers about child support. So what is child support?
Okay, so in Nebraska, of course, that's what we're talking about. We have the Nebraska Child Support Guidelines. It comes from all of our statutes, and at some point, the legislators decided they could figure out a way to make it fair for parents to share expenses and pay each other child support. So it's a calculator that we use both parents' income, and then there's other deductions and things that go in there, like cost of health insurance, whether someone's contributing to a retirement account, and you plug the numbers in. Don't know what the numbers are.
Don't say that numbers.
Don't say the numbers. You plug the numbers in.
Like plug?
Yeah.
There's a lot of plugs around here. There really are. There's some under the table even. Like a plug.
A microphone
I know, right.
Yeah.
Like.
Okay, you type the numbers in.
Okay. No plugging.
So it's a nice software program that
nice. It's nice.
It is really nice.
It's helpful. Okay. It is amazing.
I have heard of the days where people had to hand write with pencil, like CPAs do in a old book, and figure out the calculation themselves.
spoiler alert, there are still old lawyers that do that.
Okay. So the software is very nice.
Right.
All right. Back to that.
Handy.
Nice software program that most lawyers have access to in Nebraska. We type the numbers in, and basically it spits out who's going to pay who child support and the amount.
Right.
And a lot of it's based on how many kids you have. And then also a factor is how much parenting time each parent has.
So
I'm drinking. We didn't say a number, but I can still drink.
but you're thirsty or parched. And there's like this misnomer. It's not misnomer. I say that every time.
Myth.
Myth.
I think they're both pretty synonymous.
There's a myth that only moms can get child support.
That is a
Myth.
I think that's a misnomer.
Misnomer. I thought misnomer was when you said the wrong name.
That's misnomer. Okay.
I'm saying it Canadian.
All right, we're going to have to look up misnomer and myth. But
So can only moms get child support?
No,
Can
of
dads
course
get
not.
child support?
Yes.
How's that work?
well, sometimes we have two moms and sometimes we have two dads.
Oh my gosh. It's getting complicated.
It's really not complicated.
Okay. So how does
It really, you really plug this information into the child support calculator, and it's like, here's who pays who what. So
who pays who what?
in child support.
Right.
So we get a figure. Child support, if the parents are sharing joint custody, so if they have 50-50 custody, it really is sort of an income equalizer.
Yes.
So the parent that makes more money is going to be paying the parent who makes less money in income if they share 50-50 custody. But there's a couple different factors that play into that too. They're also going to share out-of-pocket medical expenses incurred on behalf of the children. So those doctor visits,
Right.
any bills that you get from medical providers. They're also going to share daycare expenses on a percentage that may or may not be 50-50. So that nice software tells you what the percentage is.
Oh. Tells
then-
you how much each parent's going to pay.
Right.
Okay.
So if you have 50-50 parenting time, that doesn't mean you're sharing in those expenses 50-50.
Okay.
So you know all of this. You're acting like you don't know it.
I'm acting like the client. Like, oh,
okay. This is the console
yeah,
now.
that's how it works, Tracy. Thank you for telling me.
So child support is a pretty simple thing. Sometimes we get into interesting conversations or factors that we have to figure out when, for example, one parent isn't working. So how do we figure out what their earning capacity is? Or one parent is self-employed. How do we figure out what their income is? What if a parent has different income over the last 3 years?
Oh, yeah.
Averaging and all of that. So
One of the things that I think more people are thinking about now is people who aren't married to each other and they have a child together, and I tell everyone child support works the same. It doesn't matter if you were married or you're unmarried. The calculator still factors the same things.
right.
Income, deductions, and then it gives a number based on how much time
Yeah.
the child's going to be with each parent.
And in those situations, that's called a paternity action. And then if you're married and you're looking at a child support calculator, you're going through a divorce.
Right.
Or legal separation.
Right. And some people get worried, like, oh, what if, I just found out I have a child and the child is 15 years old. Am I going to be stuck with a child support bill that goes way back to the day the kid was born?
Oh, right.
And I think the attorney answer is
It
depends, like on a lot of things.
Yeah.
In Nebraska, the parent who wants to claim or get child support from the other parent, they have to prove who usually it's the mom. The mom would have to prove who the dad is first. And the purported dad could fight that. And then they have to show what their income is, what the father's income is, put it in the calculator and see what it is. But I mean, I haven't had a case ever where that's happened, where they've come back and been like, oh yeah, I'm going to make you pay from birth.
Sometimes we look at paying back to the birth of the child and birthing expenses if it's a fairly newborn
Baby.
baby. Yeah. And so And sometimes we see parents that are not married, they're together for a while after the baby is born, and then they break up. And so now they need a paternity action, child support, and then a judge will order back to the date of birth plus birthing expenses.
Yeah.
And those can be some hefty bills.
That's why good insurance is invaluable. That was not a plug for an insurance company, but right?
Or is it valuable?
Good insurance is in, like, the whole thing, like, that's priceless.
Okay.
Right. I don't know.
Maybe it's a
You knew what I
misnomer.
meant, right?
I did.
Yeah. Okay.
But grammatically, I don't know. Drink.
I have nothing in my cup.
Okay, so I have a case right now that's really interesting because one of the questions that we get asked a lot is the co-parent is not working. How am I going to get child support calculated? Or how does that figure go into the child support calculator for income?
Is it just zero then?
Well,
It depends.
yeah. It does depend, right? It depends if the co-parent is in jail, then it will be zero. And that's the case that I have right now. We're trying to figure out how the dad is going to pay any child support if he's in jail. And recently the law changed that they're not going to order child support to be paid while someone's incarcerated.
Yeah. So that's new because they used to do just like a minimum, like a nominal amount to keep somebody on the hook, basically.
Right. But if someone's not working and they're not incarcerated, what we look at is earning capacity. And that's, what is this person capable of? Do they have a college degree? What is their work history? Can we look at, sometimes we look at the Bureau of Labor Statistics and say, okay, they were a massage therapist. They aren't doing that anymore. There's no reason they can't do that. Here's what someone that does that job should make.
Yeah. I recently saw someone put into evidence a job posting for I don't know what it was. I can't remember the field, but it was like a job posting that this person had done in the past to say, if you had gone out and applied for jobs in our area, here's what that job pays. And the judge accepted that.
Yeah.
So
I go straight to the Bureau of Labor Statistics website and I'm like, Judge, here's what they should be making.
did you ever
plug
type
it in?
Lawyer?
No. What does it say we should be making?
I have never used this website, so I'm curious.
I think it's just the bls.org. So use it.
We'll do that next
But don't
time.
abuse it.
Don't abuse it.
Okay, so then what happens when child support's not getting paid?
Like someone's supposed to pay it and they don't pay it?
Right, there's a court order.
Well, anytime there's a court order and someone doesn't follow it, it can be considered contempt of court,
Right.
even child support. So the judges or an attorney can file a motion for contempt of court and put on enough evidence that that there is a valid court order they're paying, that they're not paying, and then the judge says, you're in contempt and you better start paying. And they usually say, you better start paying, and if you don't start paying, I'm going to throw you in jail in 90 days.
Yeah. Sometimes to get to that point, the balance has to be pretty high. And unfortunately, let's say a child support order is $100 a month.
Drink.
Good one.
Diet Coke. Going down.
So let's say the child support is X dollars per month.
Okay.
And we may get a client say, hey, I haven't got child support for 2 months. And we're going to say, you got to let it sit for maybe 6 months or more to make it really worth it. Because sometimes the judge is not going to hold someone in contempt and give them a jail sentence for $600.
Right. That was another number. But
I'm running out of Diet Coke.
the other thing is because we're not jerky attorneys,
Like jerky, like
we
robotic?
don't act like jerks. The cost benefit
only on days
analysis,
that end in Y.
the cost benefit analysis of filing that case.
Right.
Your legal fees may end up costing more than what you'd end up getting.
The good thing, though, in Nebraska is there's the child support enforcement team.
Yeah.
So you can go to them and they can try to help at no cost, too. So then ultimately someone can go to jail. They can get their driver's license taken away, all of that stuff. And really, I think talking to an attorney about what the benefits are for unpaid child support.
And a lot of people think like, you miss paying child support 1 month and you're just going to end up in jail magically, like if you get pulled over or something. That's not how it works.
The child support police. Yeah. They roll up in the
they have like pink
car.
And blue lights on the top of their car, and their car plays like somewhere between the ice cream man noise.
One of the other things
and
too
the
that
cop siren.
I once had a client, and then I realized I think a lot of clients think this way, that we somehow get some sort of notice when our clients aren't receiving their child support.
Yeah.
And like I had this client say, well, you should have known that I haven't received child support for 3 months. And I thought, what? How would I know that? But I think it's sort of reasonable that she might think that.
Yeah. But we don't. We don't get notices.
Like we get 100 emails a day.
Bobby didn't pay his child support this month. No, we don't get any notices. So it's on a client to come and hire an attorney and say, I want you to enforce this court order that they need to pay. And, like I said before, a lot of the times, even if the judge finds the person in contempt, they're going to give them an opportunity to pay.
Right.
They don't usually...
They give them a purge order.
Yeah, purge.
So do you know that that's actually like a religious thing? Because you get to purge yourself of the wrongdoing. So it's like cleansing yourself.
That's where the term comes from?
Someone explained that to me one time, and I think I Googled it.
I think of purge, and I think of two things. Purgatory, which...
Also religious?
Yeah, but maybe doesn't like mean get rid of or whatever. But then I think of like throwing up.
Oh, yeah, purging.
Yeah.
So in scuba diving, you can purge your regulator
of
water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like... whoosh.
Every time you do that, I'm like, what's coming out?
There's nothing in here.
All right, we're going to some questions. We're going to the Google questions.
Our producers spent many hours trying to find some fun Google...
Their entire weekend, I
child
think.
support their entire weekend.
All right, so what's the first question?
Yes!
How much does Nick Cannon pay in child support? All right. We do see these questions beforehand, and I glanced at it, and I thought, I think I should know who Nick Cannon is.
Yeah, who's Nick Cannon?
But then Susan brought a whole
I have a chart.
research.
I researched this.
So at first glance, we don't know the question, or we don't know the answer to this, but Susan did some research, and there's graphs.
So Google, of the numerous, what are they called? Like magazine sites, like celebrity websites.
Okay. Influencers?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so like people.
Probably not even reputable as that.
Okay.
They all estimated Nick Cannon's child support to be anywhere between $2 million and $3 million
a month,
a year.
Oh,
and they
drink.
And they thought his annual income was $5 million.
Wow, so that's like, I really can't do math, but 2 divided by 5 is like.
Why are we dividing? Oh,
well, like that's like a high percentage of his income.
It's like 40 some.
Yeah.
30, high 30.
Yeah, because it's less than 50%, so that would be 2.5.
But Nick Cannon has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 children. He's expecting 2 more, and he has a child who's died. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 women.
And then you told me when I said, I don't really think I even know who Nick Cannon is, and I'm shocked that this person has that many kids with those different women. And then you said, but you know Mariah Carey. I mean, of course, everyone knows
Mariah Carey is the first.
She's the OG mama.
They call her the OG mama. She was the first mom. I don't know if they were married, but I think they actually had a relationship. I can't.
The other ones didn't.
I can't determine if Nick has had relationships.
They had
with
some sort of relationship.
Yes. But he's expecting children with 2 women at the same time. And then others have overlapped pretty close in time. He also has 2 sets of twins.
Is Nick Cannon part of the brother squad?
Brother squad.
Oh, that's
I don't even know what that means.
The Jonas Brothers.
No.
Obviously not.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So this is how much I don't know.
Nick Cannon was, I think he's always kind of like spokespersoning for like talent reality shows.
Oh, that's Nick. I don't even know who that is.
But then did he play basketball?
No, he's short.
No, we're getting, how do you know?
I don't know.
I don't know. Compared to whom?
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, let's move on. We don't know the answer.
First of all, though, I want to say what some of these kids' names are.
Okay, let's do it.
Which, you want Mariah's children first? Mariah's children.
Wait, was this before or after All I Want for Christmas Is You?
I'm thinking after.
Yeah. Okay. So she didn't want.
She
Nick
has
Cannon
twins.
for Christmas.
She has twins, a boy and a girl. Monroe is the girl.
I like that.
Named after Marilyn Monroe.
Okay.
And then Moroccan.
Named
called-
after the country.
Named after the decorating style.
Okay. Did you look that up?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
They call him Rock.
Yeah.
And then we have the other twins. I think they're both boys. Zion.
With Mariah?
No, that's it. Mariah's got the twins.
He's got the twins then in his genes.
He's got a lot in his genes.
Yeah.
I had to go there. Sorry. The twins Zion and Zillion, who goes by Zilly.
Okay.
And then that mom's pregnant. So we'll probably get another Z name baby. And then with one of the other moms, he has Golden, which they call Sagan or Sagon.
Okay.
And then Powerful Queen.
It's her legal name.
Powerful Queen. And that mom is also expecting.
Wow.
And then the newest baby is Onyx Ice.
2 different words.
Yes.
Okay.
And then, or maybe the newest baby is Legendary or Onyx Ice. One of those two. Legendary or Onyx Ice is pretty new.
Okay.
And then the child who passed away, his name was Zen.
Do you think Nick
another Z
Cannon
name
gets a lot of input to the kids' names, or?
I really don't know. It does look like most of them have the mom's last name.
Okay.
So interesting.
All right. Moving on.
Okay, that was enough with Nick Cannon.
Yeah. Do women pay child support? Yes.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that kick ass and make more money than their husbands.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate part.
You make more money, you pay more child support.
Yeah.
But you're gonna pay to support your children, whether they live in your house or they live in someone else's house.
Right.
So I think where the icky feeling comes from when we talk about paying child support is that it goes to the other parent and they get to decide how it's spent.
Right. And in same-sex marriages and relationships.
Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who knows? We don't know.
How not to pay child support in Texas.
Maybe
go to jail?
Don't have an abortion because you can't do it there.
Don't have an abortion. Well, then you would.
I know there's some negatives, double negative, triple negative. I don't even know. Move on.
Okay. How many pay? Ooh.
Oh, I don't know. Test it out.
Depends.
Yeah. Well, you could miss all the payments before you go to jail if no one's going to file a contempt on you.
If no one is, complaining.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now, if Nick Cannon misses all those payments, I think he's going to jail. No, they'll just liquidate some of his stuff.
Well.
No, we're moving on
to
Nick Cannon.
Okay. More Nick Cannon.
If I do a DNA test and find out I have a child, would I owe back child support? Did you see that documentary, Our Father?
I heard about it. That was the doctor.
He should have had to owe back child support because they were all adults by the time.
Well, how many kids were there?
Like 100.
And they were different moms.
More.
Right? More than 100.
Yeah. Thousands, I don't know. I mean, he was just inseminating all the women with his DNA.
Yeah, I don't know if they didn't talk about that in the documentary.
No.
If anybody filed,
we need to Google that.
That'll be another episode down the road.
But yeah, it depends. Okay, what happens to child support if parents get back together?
This actually happens, right?
Yeah.
People split up, they get a child support order, and then, shortly after, maybe years, they're like, oh, let's be together.
Yeah.
And they're like living under one roof and equally contributing to the child. So then what happens? Yeah.
Yeah, so it depends on a couple different things. If the child is receiving any sort of state aid like Medicaid, Title 20 daycare benefits, you may not be able to end the child support.
Right.
If they aren't, though, really just one parent needs to dismiss the action or keep it accruing, and then you can receipt it all day long.
So in that situation, if the parent who's supposed to be receiving it doesn't really care that they're not getting it because they all live together and they're one happy family, it doesn't matter.
Well, so it'll keep accruing, and then if they get a tax return refund, that refund will likely go to the payee.
Which is the parent who would have been receiving child support to begin with.
That's the definition of payee. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big term, though. I wanted to make sure everyone understood, including me.
All right.
So that's a lot about child support and Nick Cannon.
That was a lot about Nick Cannon.
Does he have is he like a singer, rapper? I don't know.
I don't know. I clearly don't know.
We're totally getting laughed at because we don't know much about Nick Cannon.
I know. And you did some research. You didn't figure out what he was.
You know how long it took me to find all these kids and moms?
But hold on. This is
and
funny,
write down the names.
because we got a link to the teaser of our podcast. And when we got here, I said, "Did you see the teaser?" And she said, "No, I haven't had a chance to sit at my computer for that long." And I said, "It was 90 seconds. But how long did this take you?"
So I did this right before we got here.
Okay, you could have watched the teaser.
I could have watched the teaser.
All right.
I don't like watching videos of myself. I feel weird.
Are you done talking about Nick Cannon?
Till next time.
Thanks for listening to the Lady Lawyer League podcast today. Please subscribe to our podcast everywhere you listen to podcasts, and we have more resources about child support in the show notes, so check those out.
Thank you for listening to the Lady Lawyer League podcast, and be sure to like and subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts. If you would like to learn more about our firm, Hightower Rep Law, please visit our website at hrlawomaha.com.
We'll see you next week.